back to my channel. Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I have a big sis advice video. Now I feel like I don't think I've ever done one of these, but basically I asked on Instagram what you guys wanted advice on, and I thought I could do it in a YouTube video and answer some of your, I guess, dilemmas, queries, questions. So I hope you guys do enjoy. If you do, make sure to give it a massive thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're new, and yeah, let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. How are you all doing? So I am making bracelets right now because I absolutely love making bracelets. I bought one of those like bead kits from Amazon. It was literally £10, and it has got probably like 1 million beads in. Like, look how many. I don't want to tip it because obviously it's going to go everywhere. I've got those, and I've also got these letter ones as well. There we go. But it's crazy though, because like, look, there's so many left, right? But look at the E's, like the E's here have depleted so much. But yes, right, let's get started. So I just love making bracelets because I just love like giving them to people in cards and stuff like that, because it's really nice to like post them, and I always post them to my friends. So we're gonna make a few because I have a lot of people that I want to send bracelets to, and I need to get making. Now the first question, query, whatever you want to call it, is actually about unmasking. Now so many people asked me to give advice on this, like so many. And if you don't know what unmasking is, it's basically, the only way to describe it is like being authentically yourself, like just behaving exactly how you want to behave, obviously not in a hurtful, harmful way, but like just doing what comes naturally, like whether that is stimming, whether that is like jumping up and down, or like excited, or like, you know, like, I don't know, doing the worm in the middle of like the corridor, which is something that I've done, or, you know, whatever it is, just what feels right and what you would do if no one was watching, essentially. And I think my biggest piece of advice is you have to get over like the fear and the like awareness of other people judging you. Like you have to just like kind of just shut everyone off, like just focus on yourself and don't worry about what other people are going to think. Now I know it's a journey, it is so difficult, but the thing is, like, at the end of the day, not everyone's going to like you. Like, I know it's like awful to say, but like not everyone's going to like you in the same way you don't like everyone. Like you could probably think about quite a few people that, you know, you perhaps, you know, you're just not best friends because, not because there's anything wrong with them, or they're a bad person or anything like that. It's just because you have different interests, or, you know what I mean? Like in school, if you go to school, like you're not friends with every single person in your class because you all have different interests, you all have different skills, you all have different like passions and personalities. Like you're not all gonna be friends. So like the thing is, like, when you're out and you're unmasking, like you have to kind of get past the feeling, and I know it's a journey and it's so difficult, but you have to get past the feeling like, you know, someone out there is gonna think I'm weird, or someone out there is judging me. Like you just have to kind of be yourself, because ultimately being yourself is not only going to bring you happiness, the people around you happiness, but also it's going to inspire others. And the thing is, like, 9 times out of 10, like when I've unmasked and stuff, like say when I went to Reading Festival and stuff like that, like I was wearing huge ear defenders, like builder ear defenders, because I'm sensitive to sound, and I was just dancing and doing the worm again, and all that sort of stuff, like in front of thousands of people, and honestly no one second glanced me, and if they did, so what? You know what I mean? Like if I'm, you know, like I'm happy and I'm doing what I love, or like, you know, I'm just in the moment and I'm happy, they're not judging you for that. Like also, if they are judging you, that is nothing to do with you. You are not hurting anyone. And also, you know, they're not gonna like that you're not going to see them again, you know what I mean? And I think it's this thing like unmasking and stuff, like if no one was watching you ever, like of course you just behave how you want to behave, like obviously if it's, you know, if it's in like not in a hurtful way or anything, but like if you just, you know, if no one was watching, like maybe you would dance at 1 a.m. or do whatever and do whatever you want to do and feels right, and like unmasking essentially, you would do it because no one's watching. And I think the thing with unmasking, it's about getting over what you think other people are gonna like think of you or stuff, because ultimately unmasking is such a beautiful thing. And I think, you know, if people start judging you for it, if people, you know, start being mean to you about it and stuff like that, or like hating and bullying and stuff like that, like those are not your people. And ultimately when later in life, and I know at the time it feels so bleak, but later in life you will find people that genuinely love you for you and will actually love you because you unmask and because you are yourself, and they love your unmasked self. Like you just have to hold on. And I know I've said it before, but in school, like, you know, everyone wants to be the same, everyone wants to look the same, everyone wants the same bag, the same shoes, like what's trendy, everything like that. In adulthood, everyone wants to be different. Like if you think about the adults you know, very few of them, I guarantee you, are doing the exact same job. And that is because absolutely everyone has different skill sets, different interests, everything like that. That's what makes us unique, and you know, that's celebrated in adulthood. So anyway, that is unmasking. Next question, query, whatever. Wait, I actually need to think about what I'm going to put on this bracelet. It's my friend's 18th. I might put her name. Oh yeah, these are the ones that I made. I finally made some for myself. It says never give up and hope. So yeah, I actually made some for my friend, loveliest human. And this one was, so basically I sent her a key ring. I sent her something for her like work lanyard, which said celebrating neurodiversity. And what was the other thing? I sent her a bracelet as well. Anyway, moving on. So next one, fear of judgment. Now, obviously I've already touched on this with unmasking and everything, but I think with the fear of judgment, like you have to, you know, it's similar to unmasking. It's like you have to get over what other people think of you, and you have to basically sacrifice, well not sacrifice, but like prioritize your own happiness over people liking you. Because ultimately you could be liked by absolutely everyone, right? Everyone in the world, just say, theoretically. And you could be so unhappy. You probably are really unhappy because it means nothing, because you're not yourself. The people, like I would much rather, well I do, like have, you know, a fewer, tighter friendship, different friends, and then have like a million friends and basically feel like if I was struggling I couldn't turn to any of them, you know what I mean? Or like all of them just know the masked version of me. And don't get me wrong, it's hard transitioning from a friendship group at school, say, or whatever, like where people, you know, you're just constantly masking. But it is scary to go from constantly masking with a big group of friends to going to 0 friends, because it is hard. Like I've been through it, and it is a grieving process, and it does make you feel shite, I won't lie to you, and it is horrible. But then now, like I have so many lovely people that I care about and who care about me truly, and that is just such a beautiful, beautiful thing. I think, you know, we should always like hold on to those people who make us feel seen and make us feel loved and make us feel valued. And again, if you haven't found those people, genuinely hold on. Genuinely, you will, like 100% you will. And as I said, you know, sometimes it's about transitioning. Like it's so hard, don't get me wrong, but having no one, and then you will find your people, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid to go from loads of people to no one in order to find your people, if that makes sense, because it is shit. And like when I was ill and stuff, like it was very difficult, especially when you don't, you know, have perhaps, you know, I had a few absolute gold stars, but like I basically lost everyone, and that is really hard, like really hard. And it was a lot to process, like even 2.5 years on, it's still a lot to process. But as I said, now I've got so many lovely people, and I've found them all through being autistic, or actually all my friends are neurodivergent, like literally all of my friends. Maybe one isn't, but I feel like they're just not diagnosed, you know what I mean? So you'll find your people. Whereas thinking back to when, you know, before in that friendship group, I didn't know anyone who was neurodivergent. So, you know what I mean? So yeah. And also, like, think of it like this, like I've made an Instagram account or like social media account, and people love me for me. And on my Instagram account, like I have only been my authentic self. And think about, like, I have literally got, like, you know, every single person who follows me obviously is following me because of my authentic self. So think of it like that. Like I literally had less friends than I could count my finger. Like honestly, pretty much no one. I was completely isolated, completely like didn't have anyone, lost all my friends when I got sick, to now having absolutely like a community of people. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And I just want you to know that like it is possible and there is hope. And I'm not saying like, you know, you have to put yourself out there and stuff like that, but you will find people, and being yourself, being your authentic self, being your unmasked self will attract people and will inspire other people. Trust me. I know it's hard, but trust me. And people will respect you for it. People will like inspire you. And actually someone, like a neighbour, just stopped me in the woods and was like, I was with my best friend, and I thought it broke then. Oh no, is it upside down? No, it's not. And stopped me in the woods, and I was with my best friend at a party, and my best friend also has special needs, and I was just literally dancing with her, completely unmasking, having the best time, like my absolute best friend, and literally didn't care. There was a room full of people. I was literally dancing to my heart's content. I was having the best time. Didn't care what other people thought, even though everyone knew me. Quite a lot of people knew me as the masked version of myself. And he stopped me in the woods and he was like, you know what, you were really glowing. Like at that party, you were glowing and you seemed so genuinely like happy, and you were just so in the moment with my best friend, and you were like such an like amazing like pair essentially. Like obviously he didn't say those exact words, but essentially that's what he said. And I was like, you know what, that is me when I'm at my best, and that's obviously emulating to other people. So yeah, I thought that was really special. And another note, like tell people how you make them feel. Like it can make their entire day. So yeah. Next one, sick identity. Leaving your sick identity behind / gaining weight. I think this is one of the hardest parts of recovery, especially if you're recovering from an eating disorder where you have been underweight and you're gaining weight, or even just leaving behind your sick identity, like leaving behind the identity like you don't participate, as in like you don't have cake when it's someone's birthday, or you don't go out for meals and stuff like that. Like you don't even have to be underweight, or like, you know, whatever eating disorder it is, like, you know, leaving behind that sick identity. But I think what's helped me the most is like basically finding gymnastics and being like, no one at gymnastics, no one can do gymnastics if they're sick. Like you just can't do it. Like, and even like a while back when I was struggling and like I still was at gym for a bit, I could feel it. Like you know what I mean? Like you can just feel it in your body. Like I can't, you know, your body is so tired and everything. But now obviously I go and like I've got energy and it's amazing and I see myself improve. And it's like, I just love the environment. I love the people. I love everything about it. And it's like, I don't want to lose that. And it's like, even when I glamorize my sick body, or even if I glamorize, you know, it's a coping mechanism at the end of the day. It's literally a coping mechanism. Of course, you know, it feels safe. But like, I just remember like, I can't do gymnastics if I am sick. Like, not only am I not going to be allowed to, you just can't, like physically, I've seen it, you just can't do it. And also, if you are sick and you do take time off gymnastics or whatever, like it is, or you can't do gymnastics, like your body as well is like for the future. You can't do gymnastics in the future because it's so scary, like the health complications. So like, I think finding your purpose, it's like, actually, I would rather go to gymnastics than be sick for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather, obviously it's not a choice, but like, you know what I mean? Recovery is a choice, and it's like you choose to associate, to do something that you need to be well for, instead of letting yourself, like, basically attaching yourself to that sick identity. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not recovered, but I don't want to be, you know, I want to be seen as strong, and I want to be seen as, like, you know, in gymnastics, like, they say that I'm like the fastest improver and all that sort of stuff, and so lovely, and it makes me so happy. And it's like, I would much rather that over being sick. And it gets to a point like that, and even if you're not at that point, or you don't have that thing that like makes you feel like so free and happy and not wanting to be sick for, or like wanting to be well for, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to, I guess, accept that like your new life is going to cost you your old one, in the sense that like you can't be recovered if you're still sick. You know what I mean? You can't be recovered if you're still associating with, you know, if you're still sick. You know what I mean? With an eating disorder. So I think, yeah, it's about growth. And I think the best way to put it is like, you know, like a butterfly, like, obviously transitioning into a butterfly, it is so scary, it's so hard, it's dark, and in the, what do you call it, coffin, chrysalis, there we go. It's so dark in the chrysalis, and so safe though. It's so dark, yet it's so safe, and it's so warm, and like, it's isolating, and it's imprisoning, but like, imprisoning? Maybe. But like, when you think about it, I've put too many bees on this, haven't I? No, I haven't. When you think about it, like, you're never going to be a beautiful butterfly if you stay in that chrysalis forever. You know what I mean? And you can't be in a chrysalis. You can't be partially chrysalis, partially butterfly. You have to just take that leap. And it is going to be scary. But like, I believe in you, and I know you can do it. And at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? If you have dreams, and I know you might, even if you struggle with it, but like, if you have dreams and you have like and you think you have a future, or even if you don't, like, just think about stuff that you feel passionately about. Like, maybe it's becoming a parent or something like that. Like, you will have a few things that you are passionate about, even if everything is black. What matters to you, you know, what makes you like fire inside, like, I guarantee you all of those things you need to be well for. And sometimes it's just about taking that leap. That's like my biggest piece of advice, taking that leap. And it will feel scary because it's the unknown, but not because you're incapable, because it's the unknown. Anyway, I've been rambling on for literally 23 minutes. I'm going to cut it down, obviously, so it wouldn't be 23 minutes of watching me talk. But I need to actually tie this because it's going to annoy me if I do not tie this. But yeah, there was still a few other things that I haven't covered on my little list. Actually, maybe I do one more. Last one, now that is burnout. I think burnout is so difficult, but I think the reason we get burnt out, obviously multiple reasons, but one of the reasons we get burnt out is because we've made rest a reward and not a right. Like, rest is a right. Like, we need to rest. It's not like I deserve to rest, it's I need to rest. Because you cannot function if you haven't recharged that battery. A car can't move without petrol. You know what I mean? And I think getting burnt out, like, sometimes, you know, life is difficult and we have a lot of commitments, or like we don't, and it's just tiring. Like, we get burnt out, but give yourself that space to breathe, that time to recharge, doing what makes you recharge. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else, but doing what makes you recharge. Like, I think doom scrolling and stuff like that, it's not helpful. Like, don't get me wrong, but if you just need to zone out for 15 minutes. And people say doom scrolling's wasting your life. If you need to waste that time for 15 minutes, that's what you need to do. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing for 15 minutes to just zone out and just be out of reality for a bit. You know, if you need to colour for whatever, or if you need to do whatever you need to do, have a shower, lay down, have a sleep, whatever it is, doesn't have to make sense to anyone else, doesn't have to be productive or anything like that, just do it. You know what I mean? If that's going to help you recharge, do it. And you have to tell yourself, is this helping me in this moment? And if it is, do it. If it's not, perhaps do something else. And don't get me wrong, it's not as easy as that when we literally have, you know, life and everything going on and commitments. But if you need to let people down, not let people down, but if you need to like not do something because you're burnt out or you can't do something, tell them. It's not letting them down, because if your battery's at zero, your battery's at zero, it needs to charge. Like, literally look at you, look at yourself as a battery. If your battery is flat, you cannot do that. You cannot go on, you cannot give, because your battery is flat. And I don't know what it is. But if it's not going to recharge your battery in that moment, don't do it. And I know it's not as easy as that when you work and stuff like that. But honestly, you cannot work or do your work at your best or whatever if you're at 0%. You need to at least get to 5%. You need to at least get to 15%. And ideally 100%. It will take time, but you know, that's the top priority. And that's the thing, like with the phone, like the top priority when it's at 0% is charging it. So make that a priority for you. So yeah, I have actually finished this bracelet, which I'm so happy about. And I'm going to end this video here. It's actually getting dark, which I do not like the end of summer. I hate winter. I hate transitions. It's not good. But yeah. So if you also hate winter, please give me some advice in the comments of how to cope, because every single winter is not good for me. So maybe I just move to Australia for whenever, until May. Obviously a joke, but yes. I'm going to end this video here. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're new, because it is free and it is great to have you here. So please subscribe if you're free. If you're watching this, subscribe. So yeah, and I'll see you guys very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.